It was a crisp morning when I walked into the small, bright courtroom. Light filtered through tall windows, casting gentle beams across the wooden benches. Seated at the front was a little girl. I'd already heard she was 6, alongside her mother, sister, and uncle. Beside them on a low stool sat a friendly bailiff. I cleared my throat. "Good morning, everyone," I called out in a calm voice, "and especially you." I motioned to the little girl. "What's your name?" "Janice," she said softly. Then she paused and corrected herself. "Actually, Janine." "Hi, Janine," I replied with a smile. "Would you like to come up here and help me for a bit?" Her eyes went wide, the idea sparking excitement. "Sure," she whispered. I gestured toward the bench. "Come on up then. Let's start with something easy. What's your full name?" Um, Janine." "Jay," she trailed off. "And how old are you, Janine?" "6," she said firmly. 6 years old. Wow, I said, genuinely interested. "Do you go to school?" She nodded. "Yes." "What's your favorite subject?" Janine looked thoughtful. "Math." "Math?" I repeated. "English?" She shook her head, giggling a little. "Math!" I leaned in conspiratorially. "I think you're going to say yes to whatever I say, right?" She nodded again. I nodded too. "All right, then. Would you like to be a judge for a few minutes?" She stared at me in wonder. "Yes." "Great," I said. "For the next few minutes, you're Judge Janine, helping me out with this case. Will you be honest and fair?" She held up her fist. "I promise." "Okay, here's the case. Your mom is charged with parking on a sidewalk. The fine is $100. But since she hasn't paid it yet, there are additional penalties. So the total due is $300. I could see Janine absorbing this, her expression serious. "Now, your mom needs to explain what happened," I continued, turning to the woman. "Go ahead." The mother shifted forward. "I went to my cousin's house to pick up something," she began. The street was crowded because they were having a party. I was afraid someone might hit my car if I parked on the street, so I pulled onto the sidewalk. Then I went upstairs, but when I came back down, the police were outside. They wouldn't let me open the door. I think they were investigating the party. So I couldn't move the car. By the time I got out, the ticket was issued. That's why I parked on the sidewalk, and honestly, I didn't want any trouble. I looked at Janine. That was her explanation. Did you hear it? She nodded, wide-eyed. "So now we have to make a decision," I said. "Your mom says she parked on the sidewalk while her cousin's party was happening, and she couldn't get out because the police were there. What do you think?" Janine looked thoughtful. I pulled out 4 number cards. Choice number 1. She pays everything, all fines and penalties, for a total of $300. Number 2, we waive the penalties so she pays only the original $100. Number 3, we cut the penalty in half. That means she pays $50 in addition, so she'd pay $150 total. Number 4, we drop the entire fine, so she pays nothing. Janine frowned, studying the cards. I leaned toward her. "Don't look at anyone else, just me. We need to be fair. What seems right to you?" She hesitated, then said quietly, "Charge 50, pointing at the half penalty card. 50, I repeated. "You mean charge her $50 total?" "No," she shook her head. "Charge 50 for the penalty?" I clarified. "So she'd pay $100 plus $50 penalty, $150 total?" She nodded. I said, "You're sure? You don't want her to pay the full $300? She shook her head. "And you don't want to let her off completely?" She shook her head again. "All right," I said. "This court will charge half the penalties, so $150 total." I turned back to the mother. "That's our verdict, but before we wrap up," I glanced at the clock. It was 9:20 in the morning. "You've been here since 8, right?" "Yes," Janine confirmed. "And what did you have for breakfast?" Janine swallowed. "Nothing. I'm starving." I raised an eyebrow. "You had nothing this morning?" She shook her head. I turned back to the mother. "How about a deal? If you buy Janine breakfast before you leave today, we'll dismiss the entire fine. She's your daughter, after all." The mother and Janine exchanged looks. Janine thought for a moment, then said, "Breakfast." I smiled. All right, then. Mom buys breakfast. Janine says it's okay, and the fine is dismissed. Janine beamed. Okay. Case closed, I declared. Thank you very much, Judge Janine. You did a great job. She hopped down and beamed at her family as they gathered together and made their way out. Janine clutching my hand, excited to go get breakfast, and the mother relieved, both smiling as they left the courtroom.